Hey everyone, this is Red Silvers, and welcome back to Let's Play Symphony of the Night Randomizer. So first of all, we are going to do some tweaking, because someone pointed out to me that this Ring of Ares is cutting my defense, which I knew about, but didn't really think of just how much of a difference that was going to make in the second castle. Because in the first castle, everything's weak enough that that's not really hurting us. But here, yeah, our attack is way up there. But we've got this defense that's hurting us. So instead we're going to put on that necklace of J. And then the other thing is I'm not actually up by the library like I said I was going to be. Because there's rooms here that I missed. So since we have them, let's go see what's over here. We have a heart max up. So it's just a couple of rooms, but still important to have. Also, apparently, the cat eye circlet heals you from these witches. Which I did not know. That's not a witch, though. So the heals from cat damage was actually a literal thing. So that's amusing. Let's see here. I'm going to switch familiars for a bit. Actually, we haven't seen the bat or the fairy yet, so let's put on the bat. Just because it'll mix things up a bit. At least now we're not taking crazy damage. There is another ring that if I can find it would be even better. But alrighty, let's go back to the library, hopefully with better results this time. Plus there's that block. I'm pretty sure in the last video I actually opened that block and just it's gone now. Yeah, that's a lot better for damage, at least. Alright, there we go. So yeah, I don't like showing failures in my videos, but that is the legit experience. Also, it sounds like there's something going on the road outside, so I hope that's not being carried over to the mic. Alright, Mr. Cowardly Lion. And I have to do all of this again. So one nice thing I like about the bat is when you change into a bat, the bat falls in love with you. Plus, if you use the fire, the bat will use the fire. But the bat doesn't like some of your other forms. I guess it doesn't mind the wolf, but I know it's weirded out by the mist. Like, when you go to the mist, it's like, huh. That's definitely going a lot better over here. Come here, you. For this being a random dagger that I never heard of, it's a lot of fun. I actually really like that idea about this randomizer too. Like, yeah, I've played this game a bunch of times, but there's a lot in this game that I don't know. And there's a lot of stuff that I know but don't necessarily think about, like the ring cutting my defense by so much. Or even something like how the Cube of Zoe, and it actually is the Cube of Zoe, was named after the localizer's daughter. Because it's just the materialize cube in Japanese. But he named it after his daughter. So I've been calling it the Cube of Zoe, but it's the Cube of Zoe. So I know what about the Scarecrow and the Lion and the Tin Man, but I don't know what the ghosts are a reference to. I know them because they're the thing that you farm to get the crazy Chrysogrim from in the normal game, but I don't know what they're an inspiration for, because, you know, these other enemies are in the library and they're from the Wizard of Oz, and it makes sense. That's a reference that's easy to understand. I don't know why I'm going back and filling this in when I have to go that way when I leave anyway. I think their name is like Shmoo or something like that. But I don't know what they are a reference to, if anything. That wasn't quite what I was going for. So before we go in that room, let's go to the room above here that I walked past. Oh, I see, I got the rooms backwards. I was thinking that the save point was the room down there. But no, that's like where the fairy familiar was, down there in the normal castle. Let's go down first, and then we'll go up. Oh, he dropped a pizza. Pudding. And Graham. If this is the one I think it is, this one always kind of amused me. Graham. The sword called Graham. That's it. That's the whole reference, apparently. These Tin Men are like the next evolution of the stupid flea armors from the first castle. Well, that's not what I was going for, but... There's the big fireball. Somebody was asking if I knew about that. Actually, that poison mist is really good for dealing with those. It seems to do a lot more damage than my sword. Lightning mail? Oh, and I'm still wearing the spike breaker. Lightning mail is actually weaker, but that would have been handy to have in the last video instead of fighting against the silly sirloin fight. So despite this being a boss room, they don't really treat it like it was a boss room. There's no reverse boss here, which I always thought was odd. Just like how some of the bosses just don't work in Maria and Richter mode. Like you can't fight the Minotaur and the Werewolf that Richter summons if you're playing in one of their modes because there's a cutscene before the boss, so you just don't fight them. Sirloin! Well, we won't be using that right away. It's like, Alucard, I think you've had enough sirloin for now. Well, that was almost a good time for Wolf, but it was not. Alright, so we do have the last little bit of the library, and then we'll be done here. And then I guess we will go back to the Black Marble Gallery. A drive-by schmooing. Help the heart and a zircon. Sneak attack. I mean, I could just sit here and plow through everything with the mist, but that's not super fun. As mixing it up a bit. Alright. Now that's filled in. Unless there's a stupid block that I missed. Alrighty. So yeah, the fun thing about playing with this randomizer has been just learning a lot of stuff, even for a game that I thought I knew really well. But hey, we'll show off this for a minute. It's kind of like the holy water, just not as fancy looking. But it basically serves the same purpose. And this is a good place for it. It's like the ceremonial ash is what that is. I'm sure it has another name, but... it basically does the same kind of stuff that you would expect from the holy water. And it's not an item that I normally use when I play the game, because I'm usually either rocking the axe or the holy water. So actually, I think we're going to be going... Boy, Matt, you are rocking it. We can actually go to where the clock is. And since we have all the Vlad items, we can even make the clock chime. Alright, so here is the harder enemies in the game that are guarding where Shaft is. Of course, you can kinda... This isn't the one I'm thinking of, is it? Maybe it is these guys. Because I can't see their names, because that's the one relic that I'm missing. Yeah, the Last Guardian, maybe that's what those are. I mean, you can see they take a beating. Okay, so it's gonna do this chime here. It's such a minor touch, but the 6 is on top now. So you basically have the clock that chimes 13 times, but it's also chimed on 666. And let's see, is there going to be turkey? There's turkey! Is it turkey that I can actually have? Probably not. So normally these are all the sub-weapons. And as near as I can tell, that's what turkey mode in the settings does. Barrel circlet. Okay, this is funny. Because this heals HP by lightning damage. That's normally found in the entrance. But you get that, and you wear that when you fight Galamoth. So that was right there, and we could have had that, and Galamoth could have been a lot easier. He would have still wrecked us a bit, I think, but... It's just funny that there it was. Alrighty, well, there's a save room up here, and there's probably treasure up here. There's drugs. Alright, we are not gonna go to Shaft yet. Actually, we're gonna come in and we're gonna fill in parts of this room. Can I get close enough to the center without... Yeah. So I don't want to trigger that. I mean, I could. If we can beat Galamoth, we can handle Shaft. But I was more just trying to fill in that outer circle, that outer donut, so to speak. While I'm thinking about it, I'm gonna do something kind of funky really quick here. I'm not sure how this is gonna look when I do it on the video there. Just because 152.2. And I'm just doing that for potential for later on. Just to have a backup save at this spot. For reasons. And we'll go ahead and head into Nightwing's Lair is what this area is called. But it's odd because there's no Nightwing. Which could have been as simple as like, here, we'll put the bat in this area, and then we can call it Nightwing's Lair and say that this is where the bat is, and put the boss here where the bat was, and then you don't have that mystery. So that's like the big version of those sword enemies. And there's Cthulhu. I think they call him Malachite here because they have a different enemy they call Cthulhu. It's not him. A saber. which is going to be way weaker than what we have, but... Alrighty. So this leads to the Colosseum. I think we'll save the Colosseum for another day. Those skeleton guys like to jump all funky. There you go. There we go. Okay, I don't use this sub-weapon very often, but it's kind of growing on me. Alright, let's open up this other warp room. So that just leaves the reverse entrance, and then we'll have all the warp rooms. Karma coin. This is a really good example of where you can see how they plan this out, because before those spikes are just like some decoration you probably barely noticed on the roof of this area. And now you see here, it's all set, and I don't even know, actually, if these are spike breaker spikes. They are. But yeah, like, you probably didn't even register that as a threat in the first castle. It's just there. It's just a thing you see in the background. And it's like, huh. It's like the background of a cave or something. Oh, and here's that boss that I said that you'd forget. Only now he's a regular enemy. And he's not Nightwing either. And I mean, I just switched to a weaker weapon, so he is taking a bit to kill, but still. Oh, random Medusa heads. No, 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 no. I was not prepared for Medusa heads right here. Thank you, but no thank you. I think that there was that thing I was trying to show off with the fountain, and I may have had my wires crossed there, too. Like, I swear if you lined it up just right, it would look more demonic. But it sure doesn't seem to be getting the right vibe. And here we have the Werebane. Effective against werebeasts. And you know what? This is actually really handy to have right here. Not here, right here, but in a minute. That'll be very handy. No Medusa head, no. Alright, these are kind of funky guys because when you kill them, they split apart. And they scream kind of funky too. And you have that guy back from like the second area of the main game. They have such a silly sound when they die. They're like, ew! Alright, what's down here? A diamond! And then just like before, this is going to lead back to the chapel, or the anti-chapel. Which is another area that we have to go back and revisit. They just sound extra silly when you kill 3 of them at once like that. Such a weird sound effect. Alright, so with returning bosses, makes you wonder who is the boss of this area since it's not Nightwing. Turns out this is the last of the Vlad bosses. It's the mummies. He's like, no. Oh. I don't recall ever seeing that before. And he's the mummies, but they have a different name. They're like Akuma 2 or something like that, even though there's only one mummy. And here is the fairy scroll. So now we can see enemies' names. And we have everything, relic-wise. Fill in that room, and let's go see what he was guarding. Hearts. So even though we've gotten all the Vlad bosses out of the way, there's still a few more bosses because there's a few areas that we haven't gone to. There's 2 bosses off the top of my head besides the final encounters with Shaft and Dracula. Yeah, so it was one thing when we saw Slagra and Gaibon, and they were the first boss, and they were super weak. This guy was one of the later bosses, and he's super weak. Apparently that guy's a dancer, despite him not actually dancing. This is gonna be a pain on my controller, isn't it? Yes, it is. Thank you for hitting that wall right there. That's what I wanted you to do. Oh, we'll just take the long and winding road. And hopefully there won't shine a shining demon in the middle of the road. Because I really don't want to have to try and sing right now. I will definitely say this video alone is making me become more of a fan of these ashes. Like for being, they're a good functional replacement for the holy water, and it's kind of a nice little change of pace. Fine, be that way. I'll just do that. But here's the werewolf. He's back now as a regular enemy as well. Also, they took my favorite song in the first castle and replaced it with this. He dropped a library card. That werewolf is encouraging me to read. Yeah, these guys definitely put up a bit more of a fight than Slagra and Gaibon. Lots of goodies just hanging around here. Skull shield. That's the shield with Beat's family crest. Alrighty, you're back again, I see. Oh, he's got friends. Well, you just do this too. I think there's a passage hidden in one of the floor tiles here. Of course, I may be thinking of a completely different room. Nope. It just doesn't open up like the holy water is really good at opening that. Maybe the ashes don't. I don't really want to deal with these guys again. I'm sure we'll see more of them. And of course, we have Werewolf, there's Minotaur. But hey, we'll switch back to the Holy Water for a bit. Because that's the way to deal with them. And this leads back to the chapel as well. This leads to where the big sword room was. Now it's an every weapon room. Getting beaten up by his shield seems kind of ironic. But yeah, we'll come back here later. Maybe I just wanted to get a break from that one song. Backwards potion toss. Why not? So I'm getting a little short on time, so what I think we're going to do is fly right into a stone skull, apparently. We'll go ahead and heal up, and we'll go deal with the boss. And then we will finish exploring this area in the next video. Just because this is a fun boss. So, just to recap, if you aren't a big Castlevania person, Alucard premiered in Castlevania 3. He was one of the playable characters. There were 3 other playable characters in that game. You had Trevor that you were always stuck with, and then you had Grant and Sypha. The reason I'm pointing that out is because here they are. Fake Grant, fake Trevor, and fake Sypha. And I mean, bonus points for them actually making sure that Grant exists. Since it's not a thing that happens very often. Also, there are quirks with this, like, I'm trying to take out Grant first. Grant's gone. So I think that if you take out Trevor first, they act differently than if you take Sypha first. Like, if you take Trevor out first, Sypha will just resurrect him as a skeleton. So, what I want to do is... I want to see what happens if I take her out first. And I mean, her spells work the way that they do for her in her game, kind of, sorta. So I thought this was a fun fight just because and Trevor's not being quite as crazy as Richter gets when you fight Richter. But I thought maybe he'd get angry when you kill Sypha first. Well, that's just a fun boss to me. Castlevania 3 was the one that was my introduction to the series, though, so it's very dear to me. And so seeing that they referenced all of them, not just Alucard, was a fun bonus. Alright, fine. Be a jerk. Also, I'm wearing the weapon that says it's good against were creatures, but it didn't seem like it was doing crazy good damage against a werewolf, so who knows? But that's the fake trio down, and that's a good place to stop it for now. We'll finish exploring the Colosseum next time. And as always, until next time, this has been Red Silvers. Have yourself a good night.